Today's lesson is about the midpoint of a line segment. Now, the midpoint of a line segment is exactly what it sounds like. Midpoint is the middle of something. In this case, we're looking for the middle of a line segment. And a line segment is a piece of a line that has two endpoints. For example, here we have an endpoint located at negative 2, 0, and the other endpoint is located at 4, 4. We are looking for the halfway point, that midpoint, in between, halfway between those 2 points. There is a formula for this. It is the midpoint is equal to the sum of the x's. The x's are the first term of each of these ordered pairs, divided by 2. And the second coordinate for that midpoint is the sum of the y's. That's the second number of each ordered pair, divided by 2. So next step, we substitute what we know. The first x sub 1 is negative 2, x sub 2 is 4, divided by 2. Now then we do the same thing for the y's. Substitute y sub 1, which is 0, plus y sub 2, which is 4, divided by 2. And then we simplify. So minus 2 plus 4 is 2, divided by 2 gives us 1. 0 plus 4 is 4, divided by 2 is 2. So the midpoint, located right here, is the coordinate where x is 1 and y is 2. This is the midpoint. It's halfway between the x's, this x and this x, and halfway between the y's. It's the average of the x's and the average of the y. The distance formula is found in red here. D is equal to the square root of the quantity x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared, plus the quantity y sub 2 minus y sub 1, the quantity squared. Now, that looks a little confusing and a little imposing, but it's really no big deal. You've already been working with this for a couple of years anyway. It's based on the Pythagorean theorem. The Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. That means the sum of the squares of the legs of a right triangle are equal to the square of the hypotenuse. That's a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. Well, the a here is the distance between these two x's. So we count the number of strikes here, and there are 6, so that it is 6. Or I can say 4 minus a minus 2, which is what I did right here. Minus a minus is a positive. So this becomes 4 plus 2, which is 6 squared. Then we do the same thing for the y's. The distance between here, well, there's 4 strikes, so it's 4 units. Now, where did it come from? Well, y sub 2, 0, minus the first y, right here, 4, is, minus 4 is 4. So minus 4 times 4 is 16, which is what I've got here. I square that, 6, which gives me 36, right here. I square the 4, which is 16, which gives me this. And I find out that 52 is equal to c squared. To find the c then, I have to take the square root of both sides, which is the square root of 52. That's a little bit more than 7, but less than 8, which is the same thing as I got over here. So, the Pythagorean theorem was derived, it came from the distance formula. So once you know one, you should be able to use the other. please go to Edmodo, find lesson 1.8, and complete the check for understanding.